picked her to be America's next Bachelorette. But 48 hours later, her entire life was destroyed by a video.
My name is Imani Carter, and 3 weeks ago, I was about to become the most talked about woman in America. Now, I was the most hated. The call came on a Tuesday afternoon. I was in my apartment in Atlanta, still in my work clothes, laptop open, halfway through reviewing contracts for a real estate firm, when my phone rang. Los Angeles number. I almost didn't answer. Hello? Hi, is this Imani Carter? Yes. Hi, Imani. This is Danielle from ABC Casting. That was the moment everything changed. They had been watching me, following my interviews, tracking my social media, and after months of searching, they wanted me. You're our top pick for the next Bachelorette. I didn't speak. I couldn't, because I knew what that meant. Not just fame, not just money, but visibility, opportunity, a platform that could change everything for me and for my family. Are you still there? She asked. Yes, I whispered. I'm here. I didn't tell anyone that night, not even my mom, because I didn't want to jinx it. But inside, I was already imagining it, walking into that mansion, meeting the men, telling my story, a Black woman, educated, successful, soft but strong, loved correctly on national TV. For once, I wasn't going to be overlooked. 2 weeks later, everything was locked in. Contracts signed, wardrobe fittings scheduled, media training lined up. They told me to stay quiet. No announcements yet, they said. We're building anticipation. But behind the scenes, things were moving fast. Producers called me every day. We talked about my past relationships, my childhood, my career, my values. They loved my story. You're different, one producer told me. You're real. People are going to connect with you. I believed them. I started preparing, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually, because I knew this wasn't just a show. This was a spotlight, and once you step into it, everything about your life becomes public, even the parts you thought were buried. And that's exactly what happened. 48 hours before the official announcement, I woke up to 27 missed calls. My phone was vibrating nonstop. Texts, notifications, unknown numbers. My stomach dropped because something felt wrong. Then I saw the message from a producer. Call me immediately. I called. She picked up on the first ring. Her voice was different, tight, controlled. Imani, there's a situation. My heart started pounding. What kind of situation? Silence. Then she said it. A video has surfaced. Everything in me went cold. What video? Another pause. Then, it's everywhere. I sat down slowly. Explain. She exhaled. It's a clip of you in an argument. I frowned. What argument? But deep down, I already knew. 2 years ago, before my life stabilized, before I built my career, before everything started making sense, there was a moment, a bad one, and someone had recorded it. It looks aggressive, she said carefully, like you initiated it. No, I said immediately, that's not what happened. But she kept talking. TMZ picked it up. My chest tightened. And now it's spreading. My hands were shaking. Send it to me. There was a long pause. Then my phone buzzed. I opened the link. And there I was, standing in a dimly lit apartment, yelling, pushing someone. A man's voice shouting back, furniture shifting, chaos. It looked bad, really bad. If I didn't know the truth, I would have judged me too. They're saying you're violent, the producer said carefully, that you have a history. That's a lie, I whispered. But the damage was already happening. Comments were flooding in. She's not fit to lead a show. ABC needs to cancel this. Another toxic woman. My entire future was being decided by a 30-second clip. Before I could explain, before anyone asked questions, before the truth even had a chance to exist. "I need you to tell me exactly what happened," the producer said. I closed my eyes, took a breath, and said, "You're not seeing the full video." Silence. "What do you mean?" she asked. "That clip?" I said slowly. "That's the middle." My voice dropped. "You didn't see what he did before that." And that's when everything started shifting. Before I continue, tell me in the comments, if you saw that video, would you believe it immediately or wait for the full story? And don't forget to like and subscribe to Fate and Truth Stories for more powerful stories like this. Because what really happened that night wasn't what the world thought. And the truth was about to change everything. The video you saw, that wasn't the beginning. The producer didn't say anything for a few seconds. Then finally, "Imani, what really happened that night?" I took a deep breath because I knew once I said it out loud, there was no going back. That man in the video? My ex, Marcus. The name alone made my chest tighten, not because I still loved him, but because I remembered exactly who he was. "When we met," I said slowly, "he was charming, funny, protective." I paused. Then he became controlling. At first, it was small things, who I talked to, what I wore, why I worked late. Then it turned into arguments, loud ones. Then one night, it became something else. "That video," I said quietly, "that was the first time I fought back." Silence. "He had been drinking," I continued. "He came into my apartment angry, accusing me of cheating. I wasn't, but he didn't care. He grabbed my phone, threw it across the room." My voice tightened. "I pushed him first. And that part didn't make it into the video." The producer inhaled sharply. "I tried to walk away," I said, "but he blocked the door. That's when I pushed him. That's what you saw. Not the fear, not the pressure, not the moment I realized I had to protect myself. Just the reaction. Just enough to make me look like the problem." "Why didn't you report it?" she asked softly. I laughed, there was no humor in it. "Because I didn't want to be that story. A Black woman, angry, violent, difficult. I had spent years building my life out of that stereotype. I wasn't about to walk into it willingly. So I moved on, cut him off, blocked everything. And I thought that chapter was closed. Until now." "Imani," the producer said carefully, "if this is true, we need proof." "I know," I said. And that's when I remembered something. I stood up so fast my chair fell back. "What?" she asked. "He recorded it," I said. "What do you mean?" I thought he was just yelling, but he had set up his phone before the argument started. Another pause. Then, "Do you still have access to that?" I didn't answer because I was already moving. Laptop open, old email, archived folder. Marcus had sent me the full video that night. A threat, a warning, something to control me with. But he made one mistake. He sent everything. My hands were shaking as I opened the file. The full recording loaded. I hit play. There it was, the beginning. Marcus pacing, shouting, accusing, drunk, unstable. Then the push. Clear, undeniable. Him, not me. Then me trying to leave, him blocking the door. Then the moment everyone had seen, but now it made sense. Now it told the truth. "I have it," I whispered. "What?" the producer asked quickly. "The full video. Send it now." I didn't hesitate. Within minutes, it was in her inbox. And for the first time since that morning, I felt something shift. Not fear, control. 24 hours later, everything changed. The same platform that tried to destroy me turned. Full video released. New details emerge. Context changes everything.
People who judged me overnight started backtracking just as fast. I didn't know the full story. This changes things. She was defending herself. But the biggest shift came from ABC. They called me that evening. "Imani," the executive said, "we've reviewed everything." A pause. "We're moving forward." My heart stopped. "You're still our Bachelorette." I closed my eyes, tears finally falling. "Are you sure?" I whispered. "We're not just sure, we're standing by you." But the story didn't end there, because Marcus panicked. When the full video went public, so did his reputation. People recognized him, tagged him, exposed him, and for the first time, he couldn't control the narrative. He lost his job within a week, friends distanced themselves, and the same internet that dragged me turned on him. But I didn't celebrate, because this was never about revenge. It was about truth. A month later, I stood in front of the cameras, lights, crew, the mansion behind me, and for the first time, the world saw me for who I actually was. Not a 30-second clip, not a headline, not a mistake. A woman who survived, a woman who refused to be rewritten by someone else's version of her life. That night, before filming started, one of the producers asked me, "Are you ready?" I smiled. "I've been ready," I said, because the truth is, they didn't almost cancel me. They almost misunderstood me, and there's a difference. If this story hit you, like, subscribe to Fate and Truth Stories, and tell me, would you have stayed silent or fought back with the truth?